Coming up next on the SPNN Forum, we have Natalie Morrow, founder and CEO of the Twin Cities Black Film Fest and Black Fashion Week MN. Hi, I'm Martin Ludden, Executive Director of the St. Paul Neighborhood Network, and we are here in the Kwame McDonald studio at SPNN with Natalie Morrow, founder and CEO of Twin Cities Black Film Fest and Black Fashion Week MN. Natalie, welcome to the forum.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's lovely to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about, well, let's start with the Film Fest. Twin Cities Black Film Fest.
Well, the film festival, Twin Cities Black Film Festival, we are entering our 21st year. So super excited about that. And I started it just by going to another film festival, and I was so delighted by what I saw and what it made me feel like. I just wanted to bring it here to the Twin Cities.
Nice. What is that? How does that work? I mean, like you show up at a film festival and you see, you pick your movies and you go see your stuff. But from the sort of founding, organizing, logistical side, how does one start a film fest?
That's a great question. So for me, I went to Miami to see this other. Had no intentions. I was just going down there to go to this festival. When I got there, it was like a 4-day event, and it was so amazing that in my mind, I was thinking we could start something here in the Twin Cities that would be for people of color. And so I had all these ideas in my head about it from what I saw there. So I was truly inspired. I came back, did research, and then I thought, okay, let's start off by trying to figure out how to get people to submit films to our festival. The beautiful thing is I just kind of researched across the country, and the Pan-African Film Fest in California, I think it's Los Angeles, they were so nice. They kind of gave me how it works, and they basically sent out the call for entries on their list. And so that's how we started. Yeah. And then also the Hollywood Black Film Festival. Those are the two festivals that helped me kind of get the word out. And from there, then I saw how it worked and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's how it started for us. And I thought for the first year we did pretty well. One of the things I think I learned was that, thinking and planning from a standpoint of it being Miami, which it isn't here for Minnesota. It's a lot colder. And so then I had to scale things and kind of rethink things after that, but really just kind of got in there after I did research and said, let's give it a whirl.
Is there, so you talked about two that happen in California. There's two kind of Black-centric film festivals in California.
Yep.
Is there anything on the East Coast?
There are festivals on the East, Tribeca, which is Robert De Niro's festival.
I mean, specifically geared towards Black filmmakers.
Yeah, because Tribeca is a little bit of everything, but he has a lot of different films there. There is Urban World Film Fest, and that's in New York. But I think Martha Vineyard's Film Festival, there's a few. Okay. So what I try to do is visit, because for us, it's always a matter of trying to really get different things that will attract people to come to the festival.
Right. And how do you get people to Minnesota? Because I've born and raised here. I love it here. We know that we have kind of a vibrant film scene, but when you're thinking about going to a film festival, Minnesota might not be top of your list.
It isn't. And I think that's the thing for people that want to see snow or potential or want to feel
even
really
in
cold.
October.
Even in October, we've had that. And, when you get, people from LA, they're just like, crying it's 50, and that's still warm for us.
Right. It's going to be 50 today or tomorrow, and it's going to be amazing.
You see, exactly. It feels amazing, but for them, it's like freezing cold. So I think a lot of it is, people want to see, if they haven't ever, the Mall of America is still something to behold, with the, the whole Snoopy thing in there, and to see that. But also Paisley Park is also something that people do want to see, with Prince being from here. So those are two of our biggest attractions. And if people are into film, just trying to see what the film scene is, because we have had a lot of films actually produced here in the Twin Cities. So it's one of those things.
And so when you're sending out these calls, and this is, even though I'm the executive director at SPNN, I was not hired for my film prowess. Are you going directly to filmmakers? Are you going to like producers? Who are you getting response from?
So what's nice so for an example, like in June is the American Black Film Festival, and so after that experience, I've gone every year, because the beauty of that, HBO is one of my sponsors, one of my bigger sponsors for the festival, and so usually they invite me down there, and I'm all access at ABFF, which is great because it puts me right in the realm with the actors, with the filmmakers, and then I can talk to them directly. I can give them my spiel on the films that I want, and so it's a lot easier than to go through the routes. And that's how I get a lot of the actors to come. We've had everyone from Adam, CSI Miami. I can't think of his name. Adam Garcia. Adam Gomez. No, it's not Adam Gomez, but Adam.
Yep. I wish I could help you.
I know. My mind went to a complete blank. We've had Corey Hardrick here. We've had Nate Parker here, and he's come, and they all have had film. Van Vicker, he's an African star actor, and so they all had films coming out, and it just made sense for them to attend, and that's a great thing, you know. So Adam Rodriguez.
There we go.
There we go. I was like, why can I remember Adam Rodriguez? But we've had these guys come, and it's, people like to see them, and especially if they are, in the prime of, whatever their film or series is. So really just telling them to come, hey, we'd love to invite you here. This is what we'll do. We've had Lance Gross here. So they usually are okay with it, because a lot of them in Minnesota, they go, oh, Prince, so they want to either visit Paisley Park or something like that. So we make sure that we kind of make those arrangements for them.
How is it, were those people you were able to attract at the beginning, or is that something you've been able to do more recently?
At the beginning, I think for me, one of the things that I guess is a strength of mine is the gift of gab, and to have that conversation and say, hey, this is what I want, and it's, I think it's just, I don't know if it's putting them on the spot, but it puts them like where they feel like they're gonna answer, or they're usually excited about it. And a lot of times, like for Nate Parker, he said, well, you were willing to, I could see that you were hungry for that. So he wrote his phone number on my hand.
Nice.
And he was like, give me a call. And he literally, did his own, negotiating. So a lot of them do. Hill Harper was another one. He actually called me, and I'm like, who is this? And he's like, it's Hill. And I'm like, the real Hill, and it was Hill.
No, really, who is this?
And so, some of them will do it, and he came, and, they've still helped me all these years. Will Smith was another one that helped me. He actually, had a big deal with 20th Century Fox. So, when you get the execs calling you and saying, hey, you must be someone, because Will Smith told us to call you.
Will would like to go to your festival,
So then they would set up things. So it's kind of cool, and you just kind of make friends in the industry.
That's cool. Just like, seems like, almost kind of by force of will. Like, we're going to do this thing.
Yes. So, and I just kind of go right along with it. And so, One of the things I do want is just to see the festival become even bigger. And that is the hardest thing, is that, really just attracting people to come, from other states. Now, filmmakers will come. And, we had the year before last, we had at least 25 filmmakers. And that's a lot. I think we've ever had in our whole time. But they actually came out and had a really good time. So we try.
Yeah. How has it evolved over the last 21 years?
So I think that we just try different things. We're getting better. One of the things we have not been is a nonprofit, and so just recently we are now a nonprofit, as well as Black Fashion Week.
Okay.
Minnesota. So it puts us in a different realm of different funding that's available. Prior to this, our funding for the festival was all sponsors. Yeah. And most people, I did another panel and they were like, well, that's usually what people can't get. They get the funding on the other side, right. But you're absolutely amazing with how you get, and that's what our festivals ran off of. So now, being nonprofit, it's a area that we are still learning and processing, and to see where and how we fit. I'm looking for a building to create a movie theater, so that's what I'm on to.
We're going to come back to that in just a second. If you're just joining us, we are here in the Kwame McDonald studio at SPNN with Natalie Morrow, founder and CEO of Twin Cities Black Film Festival and Black Fashion Week Minnesota. So you're looking for a building.
Yes.
You want to make a theater.
Yes.
So, say more about that.
So it's it would be a boutique theater, 50 to 75 seats. My biggest concern is parking. I've been looking for a couple years now, or even the space to create parking.
Right.
And it's so hard to find, because you cannot have that many seats or people to attend and no parking.
Right.
Because we even have spaces like that here in the Twin Cities, and after 5 times around the blocks, I'm out of there. Yeah. So I don't ever want that to be a reason people wouldn't visit us. Right. So we're trying to really look at that and see what comes up.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that when we're done.
Okay.
So we've talked about the film festival. Is that building kind of going for the boutique theater? Is that sort of the natural evolution? Is that where you want this to follow on to?
Because within that building, obviously, to show films, it could be a space of education, could be a space for renting for the community. We want it to kind of entail a lot of those things. Yeah. And I think it would be, and we could do a whole, awards celebration. I want all of that there, and I think it would just be really cool. And I think it would be the first Black-owned theater in here in the Twin Cities. So I think it's needed.
Yeah. And the film festival is in October?
October 19th through the 22nd.
Okay, of 2023.
Of 2023,
couple months out.
Yes.
And then not more recently, sooner, we have Black Fashion Week.
Yes.
And then, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so Black Fashion Week Minnesota is May 5th through the 13th. And literally, it was actually pulled out of the Twin Cities Black Film Festival. That's a 4-day event, and out of that, we would have one of the night events would be, it was called the Hollywood Fashion Show. And so then, we always we used Rockler Furs, we used Bloomingdale's, we used all kinds of different stores and brands over the years. And so, I thought that we could do more with fashion, because people would always come to us. So I pulled it out to see what a week would look like. And our first week every show sold out. So
Wow.
then I knew that there was a need and a want for it.
Yeah.
And so then we kept going, and most of our shows sell out every year. And now, after last year, we did Paisley Park. We did a fashion show at, the famous stage within Paisley
Wow.
Park, and we sold that out. And so now I feel like we can do something with the fashion part, and I created the Met Gala for Minnesota. So it's the Minnesota Met Gala.
Nice. And we were talking about that. That'll be at the MIA?
Yep,
Or
MIA.
MIA, I think they're called it. Yeah.
MIA, and it'll be there May 13th. It's our finale show.
Cool.
And one of the people we were talking about, Robin Robinson, who has Rocks Jewelry, she's the only jewelry designer. And then we have 5 clothing designers. And one actually is from Milan, Italy.
Oh, wow.
She was featured in Vogue, but she had reached out to us because I think she has a friend here and she wanted to do this. So we are blessed with her presence.
Yeah.
And she's very, very talented, 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
What am I doing with my life? That was actually a question I had about both events. Is how much local content and participation is there versus national or even international?
Yeah. So far with the film festival, it's films from all over the world. For Black Fashion Week Minnesota, it is 95% local and 5% maybe from another state or another country.
Right.
And this is the first ever from another country. Just her reaching out to us and saying, "Hey, I'd like to do this." So, yes.
That's got to feel good.
It does.
It's like we got a call from somebody across the ocean who knows what we're up to.
Isn't that
and wants to be a part of it.
Yeah, that is something. She follows us, and I thought it was fake at first because there's always that. But then after I went through and then I read the Vogue article, she was deemed one of the next best designers to come out of Italy into the world. So
wow.
That is just when I realized she was real, then I thought, wow, So we've said it, but I don't think people realize that who she really is and what she's doing. But so excited to see what these designers are going to come up with.
Yeah. What are the other events that week? So you've got the Minnesota Met Gala.
Yeah, so that's our finale. And so we kick it off with Jute Creative Hub. That's they're in downtown Minneapolis. So it's more of a meet and greet. That's our first night. The second night we have a fundraising fashion show with Miss Denisha. And then the next Sunday, it's a conversation with a stylist. So we're talking to stylists here and just seeing what their life is like and how do they find their clients with that. And then we go on to a nail fashion show.
Okay.
Because nails are part of fashion, and so we thought it'd be really cool to have kind of a contest of, nails, because Suni Lee, when she won, that was the thing that it was really something about her nails and her nail techs, and they are from Minnesota. So we're definitely asking them if they would love to be a part of it, but I think it would be so cool just to kind of bring out that. So nails and fashion, and then we are doing a salute to hip hop for its 50 years, and that will be at the W Hotel. So we are looking to, this will be our second year. We did one last year because there's so much with hip hop. You can do more than one. Adidas was our sponsor last year, and this year Crown Royal and Puma. And we're looking at a couple other ones, so it should be fun.
Yeah, I think about old school hip hop and like Adidas and Puma, like there it is. Yeah, we just had Tish Jones on from Two Art Speaks, and she was talking about some of that side of when you talk about hip hop, like fashion and entrepreneurship as part of that.
Oh yeah, streetwear and all that. So we really are trying to get some of these younger guys that are becoming entrepreneurs and getting them out there to see what it feels like, because I don't think people realize how much work goes into this. What we normally see is just the final ending of it, but when I tell you that I'm literally working on this all throughout the year, like that's how you have to think.
Yeah.
It does take a lot of work
Yeah.
if you want it to be just right and perfect.
Yeah. Well, and I think, there's on your side of that, but also on the like the designer side, you got to come up with the designs, but then you
Yes.
actually have to make that stuff.
Absolutely.
Or get it made, or
Yes.
it's a different kind of creative process.
It is.
It's probably close to filmmaking, actually,
Yes.
as far as that kind of process.
But in a
and
different
work.
way, but it is. And, I was not the sewer. I got a D in school. So the seam ripper was my
Right.
friend. You have to just really want and know how to do that.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I have the utmost respect for designers.
My mom was a seamstress all through while I was growing up, and like not a designer. She always worked from patterns, but it's
a lot. And then there's those ones that do use no patterns and can just sew. I had 2 aunts that sewed all my cousins' clothes, but just naturals.
Yeah. And just that understanding of how the fabric works. And
Yes.
it's something else.
Yes, so I have respect.
Yeah. So those are your venues, your events for Black Fashion Week. Where do you host the film festival? Where are those?
So this year, the film festival, we are going to be, what we usually do is hotels.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the W did it before and that, but we're going to be at the Capri Theater
Yes.
for the whole time this year. So last year we were there for a couple days and then we did the W. This year we're all events will be at the Capri Theater.
That's excellent.
So I'm super excited about that. And, they were, we did it one time before it had been changed
Right.
and it's been the design is beautiful there. It's a great space. So we had a conversation and they think, this would be great for you guys to be here for the whole time.
Well,
so.
and just to bring an event like that to North
Yes.
Minneapolis and to have that
Yes.
happening, that's
And they have parking, and I told them that again. That's always my thing. Like I always worry about where people park, and that's a big thing.
Yeah. Well, you want to make it convenient.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
people
accessible.
are happy and accessible, and all those things. So that was a great thing for me.
Yeah.
That was a plus.
I'm going to ask this question knowing that we don't have time to give it full
Yes.
service, but I'm thinking, the film festival and Fashion Week, is there something, when you look back before you started doing this stuff, is there something that would indicate that this was in the future for you? Were you organizing stuff like this in school? Where does that come from?
Well, in school I was into sports. I played soccer, volleyball, and I was also a long distance runner.
Yeah.
And then
It's a good 3.
and then I also did speaking. So I remember the first time I had to do a speech. Well, actually, it was it was something that we had to do. But I won most outstanding speaker because I memorized the whole thing. So back then my mind was great.
Right.
Don't know if I could do that
It's
now.
a different set of skills right there.
Yeah. And so I just memorized it. And so, I always knew that if you're standing in front of someone, you go here, here, here. And so then I just made sure I did that. So it looked like I was a natural. And everyone was like, how the heck did she do that? So I was cool. So.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
But that was what I did. But I was really into school and books and things like that. But no, I didn't see that. But I did say when I grew up, I'm from Nebraska.
Okay.
When I grew up, I wanted to be either a tap dancer, a doctor, or an actor.
I mean, there are elements in all 3 of those things in what you're doing now, so that works for me.
Except the doctor.
It's just a broader. So if folks want to find out more info, where can they go?
So they can go, if you're on social media, we are on Instagram and Facebook. So Black Fashion Week, MN, and there it's all spelled out, and Twin Cities Black Film Festival. And then if you are a Webby person, TCBFF SPNN.org and BFWMN.com. And so you can find us on both platforms.
Well, Natalie, thank you so much for your time. Keep an eye out for those events and support them. Support local artists and arts. We have been here in the Kwame McDonald studio at SPNN with Natalie Morrow talking about Twin Cities Black Film Festival and Black Fashion Week Minnesota. Thanks for joining us, and come back again soon.